Hi, sports fans. Football has come to be one of the most beautiful games in the world, and over the years we've been enthralled by the beauty, style, and panache of the Barclays Premier League. Final whistle comes to show you the game, enjoy it, and win big every week. My name is Patrick Emmanuel, and with me is...
It's a chill. Good morning.
Jim, for the past 2 days, we saw some beautiful football, fantastic results, or probably not so fantastic for some persons. But what do you make of all these matches? Let's start with the pick of the pack, the Liverpool versus Chelsea game.
I think it was a good game, of course. It was top of the crop. And Chelsea was what you expect from every team playing Chelsea now. You have to adapt your tactics to Chelsea's system, which is keep Moses, keep Marcos Alonso, and make sure you have more bodies in key areas, play high up, so I don't build up from the back. And it was all Liverpool did what should do. And I think it was, and you expect, Conte saw that and decided to go long sometimes and change his tactics other times too. And it worked because they had a penalty towards the end of the game, which I think Costa should have buried, but he was poor. It also summed up his game. He lost the penalty, he had a bad game. Conte was my man of the match. Matic was key for them, and David Luiz was spectacular. So it was what you expect from a big game. It was a draw, but it was better for Chelsea than it was for Liverpool. Fantastic.
Well, I followed the Arsenal versus Watford game, and I think the feel of the match was Arsenal. I think the team setup was very poor. Looking at you need to maximize your strengths, and I think the Arsenal's biggest strength is having Alex Sanchez at the top. Giroud is a fantastic striker. You can't take that away from him, and he has built Arsenal repeatedly. But the question is, why did it always build Arsenal? Because Arsenal has started poor ever since Sanchez left the team. Now, the movement at the final third was very, very predictable. The Watford team could confidently deal with the players. They always look for the long ball against Giroud. He wasn't the fastest of all the players. They were able to manage him. And why did you start Ramsey, who over the weekend, you admitted to the media, had niggling hamstring injuries? When you had Midland and Oxlade-Chamberlain, who did fantastically well in the cup game against Southampton at the Saints. So I think the setup was very poor, and it was very evident when Jude was forced out due to injury and Walcott came back. The Arsenal team became very, very strong. They were very, very unpredictable. They looked like they were going to score, but it was a little too late. What do you make out of the Manchester United versus Hull game?
I think it has come to be what Manchester United fans have gotten used to this season. More draws from games they should have won. You know, I saw a statistic this morning. I saw 85 shots on goal against teams that were promoted this season, which is higher than every other team. And it means that their conversion rate has been poor. They've created chances. Their build-up has been right. Manchester United plays fantastically well. They have more than 6% ball possession yesterday night, but it was converting their chances. That was the problem. And I think at this stage of the season, and that was why Mourinho was complaining about fixture congestion. At this stage of the season, fixture congestions drains you mentally. You get to play well from the back. You have possession in key areas where you can hurt your opponent, but you can't take out those chances where you need that final creativity to knock your opponent off. You don't get it because you're mentally fatigued. So you either overkick the ball, outrun, run off the pitch, or underhit shots you play at keeper. So it's beginning to be mental for Manchester United now, because this is the third time teams are dropping points, and they would have reduced the gap between them and the top 4 to 2 or 1 point, and they missed that. So that mental drag back of not closing the gaps is telling. The mental fatigue of having too many fixtures is also telling. I think that's what it is for them. So a little, like you were saying earlier, I think Martial needs to come in. They need some fresh legs up front. I think Lingard would have done very well yesterday. I think Lingard would have come on. I think Zlatan should have taken off yesterday. They did a little bit of movement up front, which was what Arsenal suffered against Watford. And Arsenal, Wenger corrected after he took Giroud off. So I think yes, Martial would have come on and Lingard and probably give them a lot of movement up front.
Yeah, I saw Hall sit so deep, and I was wondering, net players who could take on players, who could take them out and then create chances. Martial was that man for me. Lingard was that man for me. Rashford thrives in running behind the defenders, but Hall sat deep and disciplined. And Zlatan, he was very easy to pick out yesterday. The Hull City new players knew what Zlatan was going to do on a typical day, and then they stuck to their task. And Paul Pogba, fantastic player on his day, but I just think he needs to decide what he wants to do: play football or
change his looks,
entertainment. I don't know. He needs to decide what he wants to do. But on this day, he's absolutely a brilliant footballer. Yeah. Another game I need to look at is the Sunderland versus Tottenham game?
It was what nobody saw coming. You know, and I think it was, of course, I'm going to call the Sunderland the new Everton team because the moment has basically gotten away from Everton into Sunderland. And it was a good result for Sunderland too, because it was not better for, of course, like it was with Liverpool and Chelsea. It was a better result for Sunderland than it was for Spurs. And Spurs were kicking themselves in the foot, thinking it was a chance for them to get at Chelsea too. So it was a midweek of mixed feelings. Good results for the mid-table and lower teams. Bad results for the top 6 teams.
Let's play first for reference. Again, for the opting times, the reference and the eye of the storm. I saw that tackle by Jack Rodwell on Dembele.
It was a red card.
And I wonder, how did he not get a red card for that?
It was a red card. Nias had 2 tackles yesterday.
Against Manchester United.
And he should have been sent off.
Sometimes we berate Mourinho for talking too much or getting under the skin, but he just gets pissed when these little decisions go a long way in determining the game.
And for instance, you have these tackles somewhat, of course, you know the English game. These tackles somewhat gives these smaller teams the drive to go more. It was what Moyes was trying to say when he said that Rodwell's tackle in that game against Spurs was what geared his team up. So you could have that too for smaller teams trying to get these extra hard tackles to drive their team going forward. Okay,
thank you very much, Edu. We'll be back in shortly to look at the games over the weekend, and somebody has to win.
With Slot, the power to succeed is in your hands. Slot, not the cocoa.
Welcome back. This weekend we'll have 10 Premier League games, but we'll just look at a couple, especially those affecting the new top 6, the top 4 nice top 6. So let's look. The pick of the pack: Chelsea versus Arsenal. What do you think?
I think it's a good usual way. Chelsea win. I'm quite Chelsea win because over time Wenger has not shown, especially at the bridge, adaptability to his opponent tactics. And Chelsea, as it is, to play them, you have to keep, of course, like I said earlier, you have to keep Moses, you have to keep Alonso from bumping forward. And Wenger hasn't shown, or that Arsenal team anyway doesn't look like they can do that. So I'm going for a slim Chelsea win. I'm looking at the 2-0, 2-1 victory for Chelsea.
Interestingly, you read my mind. I think it's going to be a comfortable Chelsea win for my part. I think the comfortable Chelsea win 2-0. I think the Arsenal midfield is just too light to compete with Chelsea. And again, I asked myself who is going to play in the central midfield role. Probably not Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. I think he was injured against Watford. So it's going to be very, very comfortable Chelsea. I'll be so shocked if we have anything less than a 2-0 win for Chelsea. Let's look at again. I think we're going to have Leicester City versus Manchester United.
I think every other game aside the Arsenal Chelsea game would probably look like what we saw in midweek. I think it will be a tricky game for Manchester United. Leicester needs all the points they could get. Manchester United at this moment hasn't shown that they can get those points against teams in Leicester's position, and that will be key for going into this game. So,
your prediction?
I'm going for the Leicester win. A slender win for Leicester.
Oh, that's a bold one. Well, I think I'll be shocked to see Mourinho drop back-to-back points against lower teams. So I'll go for a slim Manchester United win, 2-1.
I'm taking same for Hull City, 2-1.
Okay, Hull City versus Liverpool. You think 2-1 to Liverpool?
Yes, I think smaller teams are going to begin to fast their chance against Liverpool at the moment. Liverpool are in a confidence crisis. You know, they've not performed against smaller teams, they've not performed against the big teams. They are somewhere in between. And Hull City has shown improvements under Marco. They play very well, they're passing team too. So they'll probably do what they did against Manchester United, which is sit deep in key areas, alter Liverpool's shape going forward, and see if they can hit on the break. And that's what they'll try to do.
It's always difficult for me to predict Liverpool games. Sometimes you just don't know which Liverpool can come up. They're either blowing teams away or they're frustrating you, so on. But I just think Mane is going to bring something extra into the game.
And they could nick this.
I just think they're going to nick this, and then I'll go for a very, very comfortable Liverpool win. 3-1.
3-1. I think that will be flattering Liverpool. I'm taking somewhere in the region of 2-1, 2-0 in favor of Liverpool.
Okay, that's good. Right. Now, okay, let us look at Manchester City versus Swansea.
Walk over Manchester City. At the moment, they are. Yes, just like we talked about, Marshall Jordan has brought that very well prompt. You know, he's brought fresh blood, he's brought hunger. You know, he helps the team in defending, helps the team all around up front. And I think it's very comfortable for Manchester, very comfortable for Manchester City. So I'm looking at the 3-0 score line for Manchester.
trust me, I actually think Manchester is going to score about a minimum of 4 goals in that game. Swansea knows how to do everything but defend.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every time I watch the Swansea team play, I ask myself, are these professional defenders or are probably guys?
Defensively, they look all over the place. But I think Clement has brought this philosophy of having more bodies in areas where teams have shown they could hurt them, which is their fullbacks, their left fullback especially. They've shown that they can always alter their shape, move vertically, especially when they play against the big teams. They showed it against Liverpool at Anfield. They could defend and they could hit on the break. I know Man City will be careful about that, you know. So Man City wants to see if they can kill this off as early as they can.
Okay, finally let's look at Tottenham Hotspur versus Borough. I think Karanka, if I'm not mistaken, is probably the best defensive coach you have in the league. He sure knows how to defend his goal. Probably the only thing he does not know how to do is score goals. And again, first time he's going to pour forward at them. I think it's just one of those games where Pochettino would either have to win it late or end up being frustrated. I actually go for a 0-0 draw.
In favor of Borough. I think Borough can't defend, but they've shown they can also not defend. It is a downside to teams who focus solely on defending. You don't know what to do with the ball when you get it in certain areas up front. And they've shown that in coming weeks. I think it will be a game of, they would sit deep against Spurs. I think Spurs can do enough to just hurt them and get the points. Okay,
thank you, Chido. I think it's time for the fans to win. Now, the trigger question for the week is, who is the first player to score a Premier League hat-trick? Who is the first player to score a Premier League hat-trick? The winner of this, the person who answers this question correctly will go home with an Lenovo A2020 from Slots. Good luck. Thank you, Chido, for coming around. Hope to see you after the games over the weekend, where we'll preview and then look forward to next week.
Hopefully.
Thanks for coming around.